Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It is match day. If you want to check out the Legia Warsaw preview, it was the last video on the channel. I'll whack it up here so you can click it. Card on the screen. We got news to go through today, and I recorded the video yesterday for the preview before the press conference, and there's been some comments made that I want to talk about a little bit here today. I don't want to get too carried away and take the piss too much, but Maresca's said we showed the players some of the environment of their stadium, Legia Stadium, so they can adapt. The players have to think they are lucky to experience these kind of games. Well, if we're bloody lucky to be playing in the Conference League, mate, then there must be an absolute miracle to be in the Champions League next season, isn't it? We won the Champions League 3 years ago, mate. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea players ain't lucky to be playing on a Thursday night in the Conference League in Poland in a quarter-final. It'd be lucky to be in Madrid or Milan or Paris or Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? That would be lucky to be playing on those kind of stages. So it's not that big of a deal. Is the fact that the fans have been used to having the top tier competition. Does that not register? Enzo Maresca saying the players should be lucky to experience this kind of games? No. This should be an embarrassment for Chelsea Football Club. We should be looking at the fact we're in this competition. And again, I feel like it is disrespectful to the smaller teams that will play in it. But we are Chelsea. All right, so we should be feeling lucky to be back in the Champions League, but also you've got to work hard for that. So there's an element there where there isn't luck involved. But those comments were very interesting. I just wanted to add that here at the start of this video, just so that we remember the standards, right? Because there might not be the remembrance of these standards all throughout the way the club is ran and the way that we speak about it. But I wanted to at least remind Chelsea fans that watch these videos what our standards are. We're not lucky to be playing on a Thursday night away at Legia Warsaw in the Conference League. Period. We move. Football Transfers claim that Chelsea are keeping an eye on 22-year-old winger Delap Bakqua, who plays for Chelsea's sister club, Strasbourg. Let's take a look at the guy then, shall we? This is Bakqua, and he's French. He's young. He's 22 years old. 4 goals, 8 assists this season in 24 matches. By the way, if you're not familiar with Strasbourg, Chelsea are affiliated with Strasbourg due to Blueco. And Strasbourg are second right now in the French league. Liam Rossini is the manager. He's doing an incredible job there. But Delap Bakqua is a player that is improving all the time. Look at these numbers, guys. 13,462 euros a week. Chelsea ownership would absolutely love that. In terms of assists, in the top 8%. Expected assisted goals in the top 15. Clearances. He's doing quite well. But overall, these aren't numbers that are going to scream out to me, yep, he's absolutely coming in. He's going to be an improvement on Sancho. Better than Noni. Better than... No, I don't think so. So for me, this isn't really... I think he's a good player who's coming along nicely, but I've said it all, the build-up to this summer transfer window. We'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. But I just think Chelsea this summer, the priority should be on sprinkling in some serious quality, serious experience. I say it in every single video because it's what I truly believe. And I want to make content for you here every day where you get a reflection of how I actually feel. Not fake excitement, false you know what I mean? So Delap Bakqua, let's see where we go with that one. Today, Chelsea expect the very best from Jadon Sancho until the end of the season before making their final decision. Sources guarantee that Sancho is still very happy at Chelsea. He's committed and focused on doing his best for the club. Well, first things first, the bare minimum is being committed. The bare minimum is doing your best for the club. And to be fair to Sancho, especially in the game away at Brentford, there was still a clear difference for me, at least to the naked eye, when it came to the amount of effort Sancho was putting in. I think he was trying. I think he really was, compared to, say, an Nkunku, who didn't look like he was trying whatsoever, spent more of his time arguing, which he does almost every time he plays now. But at least with Sancho, you can see that he's trying to do something. My concern is that as much as because Sancho was so good at Dortmund, he's kind of had longer to be able to prove himself. And because we know what he did there, I think it kind of just keeps on elongating this period of time where we kind of expect / let off the mediocrity. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think, in terms of a prediction, right, I don't think between now and the end of the season, there's going to be that much of an upturn. And I think purely that's because I don't think Sancho's quick enough for the Premier League. I don't think he is strong enough for the Premier League. He's got good ball control, but I don't think it fits the aggressive nature of the way that teams defend in this league. And particularly when you know how to frustrate Chelsea, you park a low block, you make it difficult to break down. There isn't really the kind of space for Sancho. So I think right now, as much as, yeah, Sancho might still be happy here, I think we've got to be realistic. I can't see there being a huge uptake in form between now and the end of the season. Obviously, I would love to be proved wrong. When Sancho first came in, I truly believe that it was a player that we wanted to sign for years, had got maybe at the wrong time, because he's gone downhill probably since he went to Manchester United. But again, I don't think we can understress the difference between the Bundesliga and coming into the Premier League. Even Nkunku looked like a world beater at RB Leipzig. Couldn't even lace the boots of flipping Idager Johnson these days. Do you know what I mean? But Jadon Sancho, let me know your thoughts on him in the comments down below. Does he sign? Does he go? We move. This is interesting now. Liam Delap's release clause at Ipswich Town will be worth £30 million in case of relegation. Manchester United and Chelsea both keen on the player as he's part of their shortlist for the summer transfer window. Man City also have a 20% sell-on clause. Now, Ipswich basically have shot themselves after losing to Wolves last week. Relegation is pretty much a guarantee now for Ipswich, in my opinion. If we take a look here at the stats of Liam Delap, let's show you what he's actually been doing this year. Top 11% when it comes to successful take-ons. Progressive carries, he's good at carrying the ball with his feet. So is Nicholas Jackson, and those metrics are good for him as well. So my concern with Liam Delap, 30 million quid, I'm not concerned about that. I think that's a great value for a player who is, 22 years old? He's going to become better and better. Yes, I think there is a lot of elements of Delap's game that do remind me of even a Harry Kane at times. I think he's strong. I think he can bully defenders. But is he ready to lead the line for a team that will hopefully be competing at the Champions League next season? Not for me. Chelsea need an elite goal scorer, somebody that elevates the players around him, that strikes fear into opposition defences. If we want to be taken seriously, you want to compete for the top honours, you bring Liam Delap in as the second striker to show that you're serious, to show that you're aware of the injury record that we have at Chelsea Football Club and the struggle that we go through when our only fit striker isn't available. When Nicholas Jackson doesn't play, it takes the whole team out of what they're good at. We've been awful without Nicholas Jackson, and we were even frustrated when Jackson was still fit. So for me, this summer, 30 million for Liam Delap. Yeah, sure. That is absolutely brilliant. And when we move on to this story, Chelsea have several staff members who were at Man City and could use those links to their advantage for Liam Delap, Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres, and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. This is pretty much a non-story if you actually read what we're saying here. We've got connections with people that know. It's like, oh yeah, my mate's nan, she was famous. Like, no one cares, mate. Do you know what I mean? That isn't ambition. That isn't actually going out there and signing a Victor Gyökeres, is it? This isn't a concrete link here whatsoever. So for me, we've got to turn these little conversations or little relationships, we've got to do something about those. Go out there and get Victor Gyökeres. Go out there and get Liam Delap as a backup. If you've got three players, right, in Gyökeres, Liam Delap, and Nicholas Jackson, I mean, a lot of people think it's ridiculous, but I think Jackson would be a great option on the left wing. I really do. Cutting inside, making those runs, finding his man that he can do really well. And then Liam Delap right now, realistically, moving to Chelsea to be a second choice striker is a massive upgrade on being relegated with Ipswich. Let's not beat around the bush here. What has Liam Delap done in football right now to be starting for a Champions League club? And I'm saying that all like in advance with the anticipation that we do make it back into the Champions League. Honestly, what has Liam Delap done to show that he can be a lead striker for a Champions League team? Particularly one that actually won the competition 4 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think Chelsea this summer, this is great news that Delap is available cheap, but don't go and use that and be like, oh, what a bargain, and think that we're solving the problem. I think Delap could become a really good striker, but it could be conversation again. It's a might be conversation again. I don't think he's ready right now to lead the line for Chelsea. Yes, you get better when you start playing with better players around him. And I think if you look right now at what we saw last night from Barcelona, PSG, and the way that they're not just so focused on this structured spatial football, there's a lot of relationism there. These players are almost telepathic when they're playing to one another. I think Delap has got that ability to link up with players really well. And we could start to see some kind of implementation of this at Chelsea. But we also play Enzo Maresca, super structured, super rigid style of football. So Victor Gyökeres, that's the name that I want to see linked to Chelsea. Osimhen is the guy that I have said all year that I want. I just think there's something about what he would bring to Chelsea, being a Chelsea fan growing up. Like, I know it's the same with Jadon Sancho, but we didn't see Jadon Sancho do well at Man United, so it's not a surprise that he's not doing well at Chelsea. Osimhen scores wherever he goes. It's guaranteed. And he scores all different types of goals, headed goals, powering past defenders, blasting the ball in the back of the net. If Osimhen's available for, what, £56 million, Delap for 30, less than 90 million quid, you've got yourself an unbelievable front line where you've got an elite scorer. And then you do sign another one of those young players. You send Mark Guiu out on loan next season. Like that's what you call quality squad depth. That is what you call building something that can compete now and will get better and compete in the future. Tell me I'm wrong. It's a match day. We've got a stream tonight. We've got 6 things we learned today. So I don't want to keep you for too long. Kendry Paez is currently training with Strasbourg, part of a pre-planned acclimatization process. Chelsea want Paez to learn different styles and cultures and to train with top-level players. I think this is good, to be honest. I've got nothing against this whatsoever. He's made 2 visits to Cobham. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kendry Paez come with Maresca in the Club World Cup. I don't think he'll get loads of minutes, but he might do off the bench if we're winning games in the group stage. And then if he blows everyone away, maybe he stays. But likely, I think a move to Strasbourg next season would be great. What we've seen with Andre Santos this season, and the whole Strasbourg team, really. Brilliant manager, and they're playing good football, even though it's quite similar to that of Chelsea, but it is more adaptable. Let's see what happens with that one. The final story of the day, understand UEFA expect to resolve Chelsea's FFP situation by the end of May. Chelsea in productive, fresh talks, separate to an already agreed €10 million settlement. £200 million Chelsea women team not factored into calculations. I don't want to spend too much time dwelling or thinking about what's happening when it comes to Chelsea breaking rules and how we either get away with it or we don't. I'd rather just focus on the facts when it comes to this. So once we know what's going to happen with UEFA regarding Chelsea and FFP, I'll let you guys know about it. But when we spent all of that money and we have done these little deals, twist things and like get around things, eventually probably going to get caught out, even if it's not breaking the rules. UEFA have got their own rules, so it can't be a surprise that it's different than the Premier League saying, yeah, it's okay, go ahead, no worries, no PSR problem there. Let's see what happens here, but let me know your thoughts on all of today's stories in the comments down below, and I will see you in the live stream. I'm going to go live probably just over an hour before kickoff so we can have some time to chat, chill, answer your questions, get involved, and then, of course, 6 things we learned from Legia Warsaw Chelsea straight after the game. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to more GBFC, by the way. We're uploading every day on that channel if you want to see more about PSG. They demolished Aston Villa. More on that in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.